Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Jude.
And I'm Nathan. Today felt like one of those market days where tech is showing you what it can do and what could trip it up, all at once.
Exactly. On one hand, you had fresh product moves and AI pivots, things that usually excite growth investors. On the other hand, a string of legal and privacy stories injected real uncertainty. That tug of war is the theme for the whole segment.
Let's start with the product stuff because it's straightforward. Netflix rolled out a big mobile user interface revamp and is pitching mobile as a growth avenue for the next decade. That's the kind of product-first move that can lift engagement and revenue per user if it sticks.
Right, but it's not an automatic buy signal. New UI can boost metrics, but you want to see subscriber trends and monetization follow through. So if you own Netflix, keep an eye on subscriber numbers and how average revenue per user behaves as the mobile changes roll out.
Meanwhile, in the AI hardware corner, Tesla said it's redirecting work on its Dojo 3 hardware towards space-based AI compute. That's a pretty big strategic pivot. Not ditching the tech, just repurposing it. It keeps their chip and systems expertise alive, maybe opening a new market outside of cars.
It's an interesting way to salvage R&D and look for revenue elsewhere. But new markets bring new competitors and execution risk. Investors should price that in, rather than assuming automotive gains will magically appear in aerospace.
On the regulatory side, the Federal Trade Commission is pushing ahead and will appeal a recent antitrust loss involving a major social platform. That stretches the timeline for resolution and means legal risk stays front and center for platform stocks.
And that matters for valuations. When litigation and regulatory uncertainty hang over a company, multiples compress because future cash flows suddenly look riskier. So growth names tied to data or network effects feel that more than others.
There were a few other governance and privacy headlines worth flagging. A court filing revealed that a government office had broader access to Social Security data than previously disclosed, which raises questions about contractor access controls and how political actors might reach sensitive records.
When you start seeing those kinds of disclosures, regulators tend to widen their scrutiny. Vendors who handle public data could face tougher audits and contractual changes, and that can be costly and reputationally damaging.
Also, on governance, Luminar's founder agreed to accept a subpoena in a bankruptcy probe. It's an example of how board and founder entanglements can turn into headline risk that investors need to monitor, especially for smaller cap names.
And not all legal news was bad for companies. Snap reached a settlement in a California suit about social media addiction, which avoids a high-profile trial next week. That removes an immediate overhang for Snap, though similar suits could pop up elsewhere.
X open-sourced a version of its ranking algorithm on GitHub, a transparency play while it's facing fines and controversy around its chatbot. Open sourcing can help the optics, but it doesn't erase regulatory or governance scrutiny.
Fintech had its own reminder of state-level risk. A prediction market operator lost a preliminary injunction fight in Massachusetts that bars residents from betting on sports through its platform. That's a good example of how state rules can materially affect business models.
Switching back to AI, there were a couple of threads to watch. Google's AI lead pushed back on putting ads in Gemini for now, while other companies are testing ad models. And a test found that 6 popular AIs hallucinated on the same trick questions, which underscores reliability limitations.
Hallucinations are the reminder that scale does not equal accuracy. For investors, that means monetization timelines might be longer than the hype cycle suggests. Advertisers and enterprise customers will want solid guardrails before they fully commit.
So what should listeners do? For most retail investors, a selective approach makes sense. Stay invested in high-conviction AI and platform names, but size positions carefully given the legal and execution risk we just talked about.
If you want to hedge downside, consider trimming ahead of big hearings or material rulings, and put legal calendars on your watch list. FTC appeals, court dates, subpoena developments, state rulings. Those are the events that will move headlines and single-name volatility.
Also, track follow-ups on AI reliability tests and any ad monetization pilots. For Netflix specifically, watch subscriber metrics and revenue per user as the mobile UI rolls out. Those are the tangible readouts of whether the product change is working.
To wrap up, product and AI progress is real, but legal, privacy, and governance headlines are making risk management essential. Expect headline-driven swings and focus portfolios on companies with clear revenue paths and solid governance.
Agreed. Innovation fuels upside, regulation and lawsuits cap it. Keep your positions intentional, keep an eye on those court calendars, and don't get blinded by the next shiny AI announcement.
That's our takeaway. Thanks for listening to Alpha Insights.
We'll be back tomorrow with more market moves and what they mean for investors. See you then.